Welcome back to Inside City Hall, where we are talking with Brooklyn District Attorney Charles Hynes and Ronnie Jouse, who is chief of the Brooklyn Sex Crimes Division. And we had a case just last night, and I guess this gets to a lot of what you're talking about. Is it involves a man, he's innocent like any other accused defendant.
He's presumed to be innocent.
Presumed innocent, Mr. Weberman.
Yes.
And there was a big event last night. They were having a big fundraiser for him, and people went to protest. 100 people came to protest the fundraiser. And one guy got arrested, and there was all of this commotion in the streets. Is that the level that this can get to over a simple allegation?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just played out in the news for all of us to see. There's one victim that came forward against Mr. Weberman, who was her therapist, an unlicensed therapist, a young woman, teenage girl, who said that he had molested her from age 12 to age 15. It took an incredible amount of courage for her to stand up and say this. We made this case through Colsetic. She came in through our social worker. We spoke with her. We supported her. And to see this happen and to just imagine the level of pressure that is exerted on this one young woman, it's just horrifying.
There is no concern for the victim in parts of these communities. Everything is for the abuser. And that's the horrible thing that we have to deal with. And the only way we could deal with it was to, quite frankly, annoy a lot of decent people like Ed Koch by seemingly giving preferential treatment by not naming defendants. We had no choice. And the only way we can encourage victims to come forward is to have this protective shield that we will make every effort to make damn sure you're not going to be identified and harassed.
But what if a victim were to say to you, I don't care, make my name public, I'm going to either move away or say the hell with my neighbors?
I have no problem with that.
But is that a conversation that happens? Is that an option?
No, it's not. It's not at all. And there's plenty of times, of course, when victims walk away and so we're not going to cooperate. We've had instances that, where you could cite the Sabo case, for example.
Well, in the Sabo case, which is a recent case we developed it through Colsetic, and the defendant recently took a 20 to life plea. It involved 4 children, and one of the fathers of this very young child was approached by a member of the synagogue who told the father that if his daughter testified in the case about being sexually abused, that he was going to stack the courtroom with members of the community so that this young little girl would have to testify against all these men from her community, and they were going to do it intentionally.
Well, I mean, see, in a case like that, it would seem to me you should go bring that person in for questioning and let them know what the law is, right?
No, he says, you want me to come in for questioning? Well, here's the name of my lawyer. They're not going to come in and give me a voluntary statement any more than I can get the father to wear a wire. But believe me, Errol, one of these days I'm going to get lucky. As I told Mayor Koch, it took me a long time to put away 3 Supreme Court judges, but I never gave up. And that's what you have to be. You just have to be as relentless as they are. Now,
the Times has suggested that after your 2005 election, which you won by about 5-6 points.
2.5%.
2.5% would have
That's
tipped
what happens
the other
when you
way.
indict the county chairman.
The suggestion was that you then sort of made an explicit or implicit deal with some of the rabbis in these communities to have their political support going forward.
That's nonsense. Utter nonsense. I mean, sure, they've supported me. I have friends in the Orthodox Jewish community. I consider David Zweibel a friend. But David has got to understand, like everybody else, if they cross the line, they can be prosecuted and punished.
Well, no, I believe it was Mr. Zweibel or somebody else who said that even teachers, people who under New York law, have an affirmative obligation to report suspected cases of abuse. He said, or someone, I believe it was him, that they have to go to a rabbi first.
He's dead wrong. And I've told them that I'm not going to tell someone they can't speak to a rabbi or a priest. The reverse is not true. I don't want priests and rabbis reaching out for people who may be abused. But once they are told that there's sexual abuse, they have an absolute obligation to come to me.
Are you concerned at all about a possible equal protection case of a potential victim who comes along and says, look, I didn't get treated the same way as everybody else. I didn't get the full weight and the proper operation of the district attorney's office solely because I happen to be Orthodox.
No, every single victim in my office, which is why I have special programs for victims. I have 36 social workers on staff. I have more of a commitment to victims, I think, than anyone in this country. So there's no equal protection problem. The real problem is for people to understand I'm dealing with a community, some of whom are absolutely hell-bent on never allowing a victim to get the kind of justice that we have available for them. And I won't tolerate it in Brooklyn.
A very troubling situation. We're going to keep an eye on this new program that you
Good.
you said it's going to launch next week,
Yep.
and we'll hear about that, I
Right.
assume.
And when Ed's taking me to lunch, I'll let you know. You send a camera.
Okay, good enough. We are going to take a break. Next up, we're going to debate the NYPD's controversial stop and frisk policy in our sound off segment. Stay with us.